Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. And today my tea is bitter and let's just say it's overflowing with frustration because there's another school shooting in Omaha. And now I've lost track. I believe there's been about 4 or 5 school shootings. Some of them have not been on the news as big as I believe the one in Georgia. And yes, like I had to pause to try to remember which one was the one with the 2 math teachers and the 2 students. And when I found out one of the math teachers, the female math teacher that was killed, it was her birthday. It was her birthday. She took cake and different treats and things like that because she was so excited. And it's like for her students and staff and things. So I don't know. Oh, she reminds me of me because with my birthday, even with my college students, well, some of the classes, I'm like, oh, if they disrespect me, I'm like, okay, just gonna enjoy my pumpkin spice, like Kit Kats here because I did pumpkin spice Kit Kats 2 years in a row because they had the seasonal thing, and oh, I bought that in bulk when they had them on sale. Anyway, and actually, I got to look that up on this season's. Yeah, anyway. Um, Sorry, I need to think of something like that will put a smile on my face, something that will give me excitement because, uh, working in the school or now college and everything I'm especially with a disability, it's like always having to think, am I safe? Because like I've had students threaten me because they didn't get the grade that they wanted. They got the grade that they worked for, which some of them did zero work. So guess what? And one student literally called her brother, mother, and father to come and jump me, and it's like they came. Officers had to like literally push these people away from the door because she called them because she didn't get the grade that she wanted. I will tell that full story another day. It's been about 2 years since that's happened. So, because it was to the point where I had nightmares. And the next semester, I was always looking like, oh my gosh, should she come? Like, even though they put a restraining order on her, like she wasn't allowed to come back. And yeah, that's how bad it was, to the point where she had like a restraining order, her and her family members, because of how violent they were becoming. And it's like I'll talk about her another time, but this is why, like, whenever I hear about the violence and when I hear about more people passing away, it's trust me, I was a nerd in college. People didn't like me college or in high school and college. I was a nerd. I remember like one or two guys were so called like me, but then I found out, I don't know, it's just, yeah, let's just say no one who likes me are genuine. So, and that's one reason I gave up on relationships, friendships, because mental health. That's a lot of this is mental health. And I mean, there's other things too, selfishness and common sense, because how many parents, okay, because I'm up in Michigan, and we had that Utica, like, oh, you don't even know how much that frustrated me. And we had the Michigan State, and but I just remember with the Utica one, that one absolutely frustrated me because, like, if you're a parent and parents know their children, and especially when you notice that your children are behaving a certain way or saying certain things or writing and drawing certain things in the notebooks. One, some of the teachers knew when they were going to staff, but and they showed the parents. But if the parents saw these pictures and things in these notebooks, And if I'm talking too fast, I'm sorry. I'm just really annoyed and pissed off. But why in the world would you give this child like arsenal like this for Christmas? It's called get them a gift card, get them like some like a video like well, it depends on the video game because I don't know. It's like some people blame like the video games on it. I don't, but at the same time, I know some people use it as a way to get aggression out, anger out. So to me, I feel like like so many different tools. There's the good, the bad, the ugly, and the common sense. Because I know certain Republicans say, "Oh well, people eliminate people with knives and stuff like that too," and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, duh, okay." Just like, but at the same time, you have to be up close. That's an intimate type of weapon. But when it's an arsenal thing where literally they can eliminate so many lives within seconds, there's a difference. And when there's kids that are 15, 16, 17-year olds just coming to school with arsenal, just okay, yeah, let me go and eliminate some people today. Who thinks like that? Who like I said, I was bullied. It's like I've told kind of some of the stories, but I've literally felt like I was at war at my school because there were two or three other guys. Like these aren't the guys that so called like me. It's like oh, but these were absolute jerks who tormented me, harassed me. But literally, I went to not professors to my high school's teachers, telling them because I literally would have to look behind every wall. I would have to walk in the middle of the hall. Even though I have my, like, now I know why I have such terrible balance. Now I know why I always touch the walls when I walk, or why I always walk to, like, close to walls, because that's a habit of mine. But they knew this. And so they would hide behind walls and literally trip me in between classes on purpose and kick me. They kicked me. And then I remember one time I showed my Spanish teacher, and she was just like, "Oh, he must like you." What the crap? What? And then she was like, "Oh, well, it's like it was red," but then she was offended that because I had to I lifted up my shirt. Nothing intimate or anything was showing, but I showed her I had a huge red mark on me. And she wouldn't send me to the office or anything. And she was like, "Oh, he must like you." And then the next day when I was getting dressed and it was a huge bruise, I didn't care if I offended her. I went the next day and I showed her the bruise because she laughed it off. And then she was mad at, like, she was like, someone has an attitude, because in class I was in pain. So, and I say that because with some of these students, if they're being teased, mocked, or ridiculed, harassed, trust me, I understand and I know. I know the struggle. I know the thoughts and like just how much you're just like, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. I can't stand these people. When is this going to end? It's like, and I know the one in Omaha is like 15 years old. So, they're in like the beginning of high school, and I'm just, oh my, like I think like either eighth grade, eighth or ninth grade, right in that area. But oh my, it's just to the point where when are we gonna resolve this? When are we gonna fix this? And I know I just did a video kind of nagging about it last week, but part of me just feels like I am so tired of these thoughts and prayers. And now we have another child in critical condition. I'm so glad no one passed away. I want to say thank God no one passed away, but sometimes I just feel like putting down my religious Christian hat, because yeah, it's like some people are surprised. Yes, I am a Christian, but at the same time, I'm I'm one that wants justice, common sense, and morality and justice for everybody. And the way a lot of these people, a lot of ways that some of the religious groups are acting is just like, oh well, it was just time, thoughts and prayers. Oh, you're not gonna take away my guns. Oh, no, you're not taking away my gun. Like, oh, you want us to have mental health checks? No, no, that means you're taking away our Second Amendment. Okay, would you rather have it harder for your Second Amendment rights, or not all of your Second Amendment rights taken instead of lives taken? Because you're supposed to be pro life, but you have no problem that lives keep being taken in school. You say that you're pro life, but you won't help the mental health, or even with health insurance. Like a lot of people who want to get therapy or want to get the mental health, it's not included in the health insurance and they can't afford it, especially with the garbage minimum wage that America has. But they refuse to raise it. And even the Republican candidate that wants to be president again, he refuses, and he said it's not going to raise. He says they get paid enough, when majority of a lot of people have to work 2 or 3 jobs in order to try to afford a mortgage, maintain their mortgage, buy their groceries, take, like if they have kids, take care of their kids. But a lot of them can't afford kids, so then they don't have kids. But then the Republican Party also doesn't want to allow certain items that will help them make sure that they don't have children so that they can be responsible. But because of their religious views, they're saying, no, you need to be married before you do that. And if it's meant to be, it's like, then you're going to be with child. I'm just like, okay, if you're pro-life, you should want the life to be of value. You would want it to be celebrated. You would want their tummies to be filled. You would want the lights on for them to have hot water, hot clean water. You would want them to never be in need. You would want to make sure they always have shelter. But no, I digress, because yeah, we still need to tackle the school situation. And it's like I have argued a lot years ago. I haven't recently, because part of me is just like, what's not worth it anymore. Because I know, especially with my ex's family members, they all have at least one gun. Well, actually, they all at least have three. And I know my ex has at least one. I don't, yeah, I think he has two, but I know he at least has one. And I remember he kept insisting that I go out for target practice with him, his brother, and his now ex-wife, and his daughters too, or actually all of their children. And I didn't want to at first, because I'm just like, you know what? In my family, like, my dad hunts and everything. I respect the hunting portion of it. But other than that, I just don't get the need. Like, okay, safety, but in other countries, they don't need that for safety, because it's, yeah. So, anyways, but he kept like insisting, yeah, this is great for bonding. It's great for bonding. Once you do it, then you'll be addicted. You'll be happy. Look, it's so much fun. Once we do it, you'll see it's so much fun. And part of me is just like, I like, okay, can we have like, why don't I just go with maybe some of your family members for a spa day? Why don't, like, instead maybe we go to a dog park, or, but yeah, their town is so small. Okay, do you guys have a park? Or and one where it's not going to be where a white hate group is. Yeah, I said it. That's like, yeah, if this is the same town where every time I went there, all of the neighbors would stare at me, and all of the, like, during the family events, they would stare at me like I was an alien or somebody who didn't belong there. And at the grocery store, one of the ladies asked his mother if I was the new help. Yeah, I said it. So, anyway, it's just, I don't get the want and such that desire for something that it's like, I'm pro life. I'm pro, let's work on the mental. And you know what? It's like, yeah, I don't mind if people have these type of weapons, but no, but start to a certain extent. I mean, because there's some where you can't even hunt with. If an animal got shot with some, they're destroyed. So what's the like to me that irritates me because especially like the Native American side of me, it's just like when when you eliminate an animal, it's like you use all of the animal or as much as you can, and that's what like well okay I'm digressing a lot, but part of me just feels like with this subject, it connects to. Oh my gosh, I think I'm about to sound like Trump when he's always off topic. But okay, sorry. with back like with the weapons, I just don't see the need. But when I met his family, oh my gosh, you don't have a gun. You don't have a gun. I can't believe you don't have a gun. You need to pick out a gun. Oh my gosh. So even after we left the house or whatever, he would ask me, "Oh, have you looked at any guns yet?" And when I told him I was going to start investing money, saving money, "Oh, now you can invest in a gun." That's not the type of investment I was thinking about. The value of guns don't go up and down like gold and silver. So, and then even with my ex's daughters and everything, I remember there was school shooting or whatever that happened right nearby, and it was the oldest one's old school. And I remember having a talk with her and like, okay, I want to say this so no one thinks outside the box, but it's like I remember she was on the couch, she was crying, we're crying in my arms, so it's like I'm holding her, she's crying, okay, and I remember she was in, I think she was a sophomore, freshman or sophomore that year. And she was just crying, like, why is this happening? And I think she knew one of the students too. And it's like she was just on and off crying for hours. And I remember we were in the middle of, out of all the animes in the world, Assassination Classroom. Yeah, we took a break on that one for a week or two. I forgot which anime we watched instead, but yeah, we played a lot of Sims and yeah, a lot of different animes. So, but I just know that she has witnessed. I've already told my story of it wasn't with guns, but I have had to stay in the classroom with my first graders for an hour and a half, and that was stressful. And even with all of this going on right now, part of me is wondering, have any of these schools created a plan for people with students with disabilities? Especially some of these schools are two-story, and they have elevators, but how about if the elevator shut down or if there is a shooting and they are near the elevator? How is the person in the wheelchair going to be safely out? Do any of the do any of the classrooms have equipment and stuff so if they can open the door and there's kind of like a swing type of arsenal, and they can slowly put the student down? But then also if someone comes into the classroom, if people try to hide under the desk, how is someone in a wheelchair going to be able to do that? It's like, are they going to be equipped to be able to like get out of the chair? Even if a student is blind, it's like they're gonna hear everything around them, but they're not gonna know what's going on unless someone yells at them directly. Are people in their grade or in their class, are they gonna have a buddy for each class? So if something happens, that person can like go right next to them and be like, "Okay, down." Okay. Or do they have uh, like a support dog, like the students who need one? It's like, are they going to for like a couple days after school or over the weekend train the animals on, okay, it's like if they like maybe ring the alarm bells or something or emergency bells, and then guide them like, okay, when the dog hears this is the path, and you do it a few times, give them the treats, of course, like they, you guys know the drill. But it's like, what are that you guys going to do for those with disabilities? How are you going to make sure students with disabilities are able to leave in a safe way, and they're not in fear, and they're not like, I don't have the same access as an able-bodied person? And I mean, I'll end it there. And I know I hopped off, but I don't know. Part of me is just like a little emotional, a little really ticked off, pissed off, annoyed. Especially, it's like I've taught K through 12 and college, and I this school year already, there's been 5 or 6 school shootings. 5 or 6. And we're in September. This is September. And we're not even in the middle. We're not even in the middle. It's like students haven't even, like, I mean, this is kind of like the get to know the teacher and start looking over what you're going to learn. This is when you start finding out who your real friends are, your fake friends, or who you're going to sit next to, or who's going to be that crush of the year. That's the time, like, and even homecoming, and who's going to be homecoming queen and king. That's what they should be thinking about. They should not be thinking about, oh my gosh, that I think I said something mean to that kid. Are they going to take it out on me tomorrow? Oh, I used to pick on them in the past. I think they're having a tough year. It's like, what's going to happen if A, B, and C have, like, no, like, no, just no. I'm at a point where, when are we going to fix this? When are we going to finally sit down and fix this? And I know a lot of my examples kind of got off topic, but to me, that's how, like, that's how I can relate to the topic, because when it comes to weapons, guns, and things like that, like, especially with my ex, the thing, like, one day I will go over all of the things they told me about. It's like, if this country takes my gun, like, they are some of the ones who said if they try to take my guns, it's like they're gonna end up in the ground. I mean, they said so many awful things, and it's just to the point where you say you're pro-life, because yeah, they talk about guns and pro-life. Isn't that a little oxymoronic? Isn't that just a little oxymoronic? Okay, I'll digress, but anyway. This is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human. And I was going to post the date, like, right now, but I'll this will probably be up on the 15th. So I I did this talk for the 10th. We'll see. I don't know. It's like, sorry, I'm just so pissed off. And I hope one day we have a Congress that is pissed off enough to fight and think about us, think about humans more than they do their dollars, their wallets, their vacations, their yachts, and everything that once they pass away, they will never be able to take to heaven. That's one thing. Like, part of me is just like, we should be treating each other like valuable, like human beings are valuable. We can't take any of this stuff to heaven or hell. We don't, like, come on. We can't take this with us. So what's the point? Getting all this money for, like, okay, yes, you want to flaunt it, you want attention, you love being the richest people, but you can't take it with you. What's the point? Like, why? We should be focusing on making everybody happy on earth. Not like, so I don't, yeah, I'll get off topic. I'm just pissed.